Hey there guys, Elite Legionarii here, and today I'm bringing you a 3 versus 3 siege for Medieval 2 Total War Kingdoms Teutonic. This is a battle that was sent to me by Brotherhood member Vet, so I actually am not participating in this battle. But Vet has been asking me to put some sieges up of late, so I thought I'd better get round to it and put one up. I don't put a lot of sieges up, and I'll explain later on why that is, but there's a lot of action in this siege quite early on, so I don't want to miss it. So Vet is playing as his name is Denmark, and his allies are Mad Pug Gaming, who's in command of the Mongols, and his other ally is SpartanQwop, who is also in command of the Mongols. So very interesting faction choices there. Two Mongols in the same army and the attackers is a very rare thing, because it can be very difficult to make that work, but we'll see how it goes. The defenders consist of Jamie Dodger 25, who commands Lithuania. We have Sawman, who commands Teutonic Order, and another Teutonic Order under the command of Emperor the Great Unknown. That is one very powerful defensive army. Now, if you look at this map, many of you might not be familiar with this particular map. This map's only on Teutonic expansion, and it is the defender's paradise. This map is absolutely everything a defender could want. It is extremely in favour of the defender. There is only one way into the central square, so it's so easy to funnel people and choke point them into one area exactly where you want them. It is very easy to fight them because they're always going uphill throughout this siege, so you can block them off at multiple places. You have great vantage points for your missile units, same for catapults, mangonels, the works. It is an incredibly defensive map. I enjoy being the attacker on it only because it's so challenging, but it is always it's massively in favour of the defender, and in this case the defenders have much stronger defections for sieges as well. The only person here who is a comparable faction is Vet with Denmark. The two Mongol factions are not, they're not bad, but they are not on the level with two Teutonics and a Lithuania. The Mongols have great missile units and they have the Nafatoons, but the infantry is a serious problem, and you always need good infantry for a siege, especially a siege like this where you're going to be fighting at so many disadvantages. So I'm definitely, just by looking at this, giving the favourable situation to the defenders on this map for multiple reasons, mostly because they obviously have the greatest terrain advantages and they have much more stronger factions in the terms of defence. Like the Teutonic Order, they've got two Teutonic Orders. The Teutonic Order is absolutely supreme when it's defending on a siege. So this is going to be really difficult for Vet's team. I really think they'll be in for a challenge. But to be honest, I actually do not know the outcome of this battle. I have not reviewed it. I've only seen part of it, some of it. So I actually don't know what's happening, what's going to happen in this particular battle. So I'm just as much going to see how this is going to go as you guys are. So anyway, let's begin. The battle begins pretty quickly. I have looked at a little bit of it, and Mad Pug Gaming has got his Mongol Light Lancer here, and he sees that the Emperor the Great Unknown has a unit of Livonian auxiliaries here, which is a really good crossbow unit, basically on par with Puppy's crossbowman, but he's going to see that it's got no nearby cav support, and he's going to quickly rush it, and he will be able to destroy it. So good spotting there, good start for the attacking team. They've managed to destroy a missile unit for basically nothing, which is great. And while we're over here, we'll have a look at Mad Pug Gaming's build. Looks like he's got 3 units of heavy, dismounted heavy lancers. Then looks like he's got 4, I think it's 4 units. I think it is 3 or 4 units of light lancers, and then he's got a mixture of dismounted heavy archers, Nafatoons, and Mongol infantry, which are more archers, and of course he's got that cav unit. And he looks to get pretty aggressive quite early on in this fight, because as you can see, he takes advantage of the fact that several of these units are not got any nearby cavalry support, so he can use his cavalry quite aggressively. This general's bodyguard from Jamie is pulled back quite a ways, but these 2 units up here, this crossbow militia and these Latvian crossbowmen, have got no missile support at all. Sorry, no cavalry support at all. So Mad Pug Gaming is going to do some charges here. So it's a good move because he's going to be able to take down some missiles, and they need to increase their only real advantage, which is missiles, because they are totally outclassed on the infantry department in this particular battle. So nice charge there. It basically destroys that unit as well, so really nicely done. And he's off to a great start there. He's up there skirmishing now with his archers. They do need to be careful they do not expend too much ammunition, because they're going to need it. It's their one advantage. I thought we'd take a look at Vet's build. If we look at Vet's build, he's got, over here on this left side, he's got 4 dismounted Huscarls, 4 dismounted Chivalric Knights, and 1 Chivalric Knight Cav. On the right, he's got 1 Chivalric Knight Cav, 4 dismounted Feudal Knights, and 4 Gotland Footmen. So what he's done, he's broken his army up into 2 groups to support each Mongol player. Now I like this. This is a smart move by Vet. For 2 reasons, this is a really smart build. He's compensating for the fact that the Mongols have poor infantry, so are not great for an attacking option in a siege. Their Nafatoons are very useful, their missile units are very useful, but they lack infantry. Their infantry is just shockingly poor for sieges, so they really have to rely on the Nafatoons and the missiles, but that's not going to be enough to deal with the kind of defences here. So what he's done is he's brought a power infantry build, not wasted time with missiles, and Denmark is a great choice to do this. Very smart move there. So he's got 16 infantry units, so that's really smart there. And he's broken it up into 2 groups to support each Mongol player, which I also think is a smart move. But at the same note, it means he's got a micro on 2 ends, which is going to be interesting, and it could be quite difficult. So we'll see how he goes. It looks like Madpug Gaming has moved his missile units onto these heights here, and he's probably looking to get some flank shots, I would say. Although, having said that, he's possibly could be in a position to actually be shot himself. Now, this little ridge along here, you can actually put missile units along this little ridge, although I don't think that the players were aware of it when they did this particular battle, but I do believe they are aware of it now, because I did a battle on this particular map with them before, and we use that ridge, and it's quite an effective means by which you can, get a nice range advantage with your missile units as the defender. Let's see what else is going on. I'm just making sure I'm not missing anything. It looks like SpartanQwop is pushing up his dismounted heavy lancers here and some of his missile units. We look on this end. It looks like the rocket launchers that they both have rocket launcher artillery, and they're using that now to try and get some hits off. If I were actually Madpug Gaming and SpartanQwop, I would conserve that to the later stages of the battle, because you only have one direction you can attack through here as the attackers, which makes it very difficult. But if they save that rocket ammo right towards the end here, they get a lot of hits on tightly packed units, which would be better because they'd improve the low accuracy of the rocket launcher. Here we see that the Sawman and Emperor the Great Unknown are trying to intercept some of these units. Looks like we get another nice little charge off by Madpug Gaming. He's doing a nice little job with that light lancer. And this Order militia has managed to catch some of these missile units. Now this is, Madpug Gaming needs to get these units out of here. He can't afford to lose his missile units. That's their only advantage over the other team, really, and it's not much of an advantage. So they do not, because they don't. I don't think they have much of a missile advantage, if at all, really, because the other units are crossbows. So he needs to make sure he doesn't lose those. If we look on the other side, it looks as if SpartanQwop has pushed up here. Now I do not know what SpartanQwop's trying to do here. This is not a good move. In my opinion. He's throwing away his units, because there is no way his dismounted heavy lancers can stop these Teutonic sword brethren. So I don't know what he's trying to do, He should just skirmish at the moment, try and shoot units as he can, and use his spare units to support. The 2 of them should not attack without vet, at least in terms of their infantry. They could skirmish a bit, which is what they should be doing. They shouldn't push forward, though, to try and attack, because if they do, they will lose. They do not have the infantry quality to take on this kind of defense, and they're outnumbered in doing so. It is not a smart move to attack in that way. So I think SpartanQwop's making a mistake here. He's throwing away his spearmen for no gains whatsoever. And Vet, as you can see, is still, he's just still on there waiting to get into position. So I don't think that's a smart move. Over here, you can see that Madpug Gaming's only committing to protect his missile units, so he's making smart moves there, but I think SpartanQwop has wasted units in this, because as you can see, they've routed, and he's done minimal damage, to be honest. What he should have just done is brought missile units up and skirmished, because he would have done alright with that. You know, he could have, if he had a cav unit, which I don't know if he does, he could have used that to try and harass, and use his missile units to support, because I think what they've done here is they've just wasted some of their units for very minimal gain. As you can see, they've lost 10%. Sorry, they've lost 10% and they've killed 14, so they still have the lead. And I think that's done to Madpug Gaming's great start there with the cav. But they can't afford to lose. They can't afford to lose their missile units too early, or any of the units too early. Now here we see, it looks like Jamie Dodger has slipped out a couple of General's bodyguards here, and there's not really any defence for them here, so he's going to get into Madpug Gaming's guys here, and this is where Jamie needs to worry. He's got his Nafatoons here, and if he loses his Nafatoons, he's not going to have really much show of getting past all that infantry and he goes into battle. So this is a smart move by Jamie Dodger, because he's going to come out here and look at this, he's going to collect all these Nafatoons and this rocket launcher, and there is nothing he can do to protect them now. A vet could have pushed back here, but I don't think vets must have spotted it, because as you can see, these Nafatoons are going to die, and that is a huge loss for them. Now he's trying to bomb these General's bodyguards before they can kill them, but it's too little too late, and he's going to lose all his Nafatoons, and that is extraordinarily bad loss for Madpug Gaming. So good move by Jamie Dodger, good spotting, and that's going to be real costly for them. I don't know how this battle actually goes, as I said. It looks like Vet's trying to compensate by making some quick charges on exposed infantry. I don't think he's had a lot of success. He might have, I don't think I spotted anything though. It looks like, yeah, is that this Nafatoon by Madpug Gaming? I think there's only one left. He needs to make sure this doesn't get caught out, and it looks like this dismounted Borgia is going to come down and catch it, so he really needs to get that out of there, because if he loses that, well, he doesn't have a lot of power left in his army. The Nafatoons are very critical. So I'm going to have to say, so far, looking at the battle, it was a great start initially by Madpug Gaming. He did a very good job with his cavalry on the opening, but now that things have sort of commenced a little bit more, I would say the defenders have made a good comeback. They've taken out the Nafatoons of Madpug Gaming, and they've destroyed probably 3 or 4 units of spearmen from SpartanQwop. So I'm going to have to say the battle is now looking more favourable for the defenders again, as it was at the start. So those losses, especially those Nafatoons, are very, very bad. So I think the mistake was SpartanQwop sent those infantry in on his own, and I don't see why he did that. There's really very little gain there. Maybe if he's trying to get at the missile units, okay, that makes sense, but the enemy infantry unit was close enough to support it anyway, so I don't think that was a smart move, to be honest. I think he should have pushed out more missiles and just skirmished. So it's definitely been dangerous for them, because they've lost quite a bit of useful units very early on for not the greatest gain. I mean, Madpug Gaming did some great work with that light cav, but I think the loss of his Nafatoons is going to be really critical later on, because I do not know how this battle progressed. I think Vet did tell me, but I can't actually remember what the result was. But needless to say, I don't actually think it's going to look too well for them. That's my guess. I mean, unless they pull off some really good tactics or the enemy make mistakes, I'm seeing this as not going well for the team here, because the loss of those Nafatoons is a huge loss, especially this early in the battle, because they will need them to try and dislodge some of this Mongol, so these Teutonic, like Ritterbruders and stuff, as we know, are immensely powerful sword infantry. I mean, we've got just mounted chivalric knights and the whole works. They've got a big infantry advantage here, with pikes and support and everything, and this Mango now, it's going to be incredibly difficult. So loss of Nafatoons, which was a crucial asset to them achieving success in this, is really crippling. So we'll see how they adapt to that. So anyway, it looks like Vet has moved his infantry units to both ends, as we can see now. And a lot's going to depend on Vet here. He has to do a very good job with his infantry, because his infantry are extremely critical to success here, given that his allies do not have great infantry and they've already lost quite a bit of it. So Vet's got a lot on his shoulders in this fight, so we'll see how he goes. Anyway, I think I'll Might just triple speed here because I don't think there is a lot happening at the moment. Just a bit of skirmishing going on around the place. I would edit parts of the video, but I don't actually know what part when I need to sort of stop and go because I haven't watched it before. So anyway, it looks like Vet is now pushing up with his dismounted Huskarls. This is an interesting move. Let's see, I would have probably skirmished a little bit more if there was ammunition to do so, but we'll see what Vet's doing. He might be looking to establish a foothold on this area here so he can move his missiles up. That might be what he's trying to go for. Sending in the Huskarls first is a tactic I like to do with the Danes because these guys have got a little axe, armor piercing, and they're pretty solid. They're a good opening force in a siege, good for establishing footholds, good for gaining positions while you preserve the much more stronger sword units, or chivalric knights and feudal knights, Gotland footmen for later on in the place. So he's doing that now, and I think what he's trying to do is trying to find positions that are so he can go around, because I don't think he wants to go through these pikes, because these pikes he'll never breach this with those guys, well, not with sword brethren and pikemen there. Looks like he's trying to catch these dismounted Borgia Regia out, and there's missile fire coming into their flank, so he should definitely destroy that unit. But if we look, there are missile units over here, as you can see, from Lithuania and Emperor the Great, Sawman, and they are getting flank shots in over here, so he has to be careful there. But he does get off to a nice start there, kills these dismounted Borgia Regia. I'm guessing the money wasn't too high because it doesn't look like there's a lot of upgrades on some of these units, or at least defensive upgrades. But it looks like Vet's trying to push through. If I'd been Vet, I'd be inclined to try and take this unit out and go around, although then he'll be in shots on the flank, because it'd be pretty much impossible to breach these guys on the fronts. With the Nafatoons would have been good. It looks like Magpie Gaming's shooting as much as he can there, and it looks like on this wing Vet is doing another similar assault. This time he's using his feudal knights as the front row, so he should hold longer on this side because feudal knights are stronger than Huskarls. So be interested to see how he goes. He's in loose formation, as you can see, as he approaches up here to avoid missile fire or limit it as much as he can. Looks like SpartanQwop's trying to flame them, trying to lower morale, but if in case he's just shooting enemy missile units, he should just stick with normal ammunition because it'll do more damage, or it'll kill them quicker rather. Use flaming shot on the enemy infantry units. But it looks like Vet's going to get into this side relatively unopposed, which doesn't surprise me because there's no entry point to this way, so it's very easy for them to just fall back, because regardless of where they go on the initial entries, the final entry will be on up through here because it's the only way in, so it's going to be easy for the defenders to funnel them. Anyway, it looks like Vet's made some cav charges. He might have got a few kills here. It looks like he got some of these auxiliaries pretty bashed up. This is a clergyman here. I think this unit boosts morale, although it doesn't say that in their stats, but I think that's what they do. Anyway, it looks like he's trying to use his Huskarls to push through here, but as I said, between the pikes and the swordsmen here, this is not going to be difficult. But fortunately for Vet, the pikes have broken up their pike formation, as they tend to do in Medieval 2. It is a frustrating thing when you use pikes. Pikes could be a lot more effective in Medieval 2 if they didn't do that, but they just do that anyway. Anyway, it looks like Vet's got his little breakthrough here. He's going to try and go around the back here, which is good. And although if I were Vet, I'd try to tie down these missile units so they're not hitting its flank. But I think that's what Magpie Gaming's going for here with his missile units, so he's keeping that lot busy. And he might be putting some he's putting point blank shots in these pikes. That's not a bad idea either. This would be a good place for the Nafatoons. I know he's got one left. I think he managed to conserve one of them. Whereabouts is it? I'm not sure where it is. Oh, he's got some here. He should bring them up to help Vet break through here, because he needs to establish his foothold quickly and with limited losses. So Vet's done the smart move here. You see this? He's gone through with his chivalric knights. He's going to try and intercept the missile units so that he can bring these units in for a flanking move. It's a good move from Vet there, because he needs to tie these units down so his flank does not get exposed. Look on this side, it looks like Vet is using his CAD to get some breakthroughs here. I've got to say, Vet is doing a great job so far, although this side is not very heavily defended. As I said, it's not really necessary to defend this side as heavily, because again, it's only going to come down to pushing up through here anyway. So at the start here, it's looking pretty good, and again, SpartanQwop does have his Nafatoons, which have not been destroyed, fortunately. However, he needs to make sure he does not waste all their ammunition in this section. They need to try and conserve those Nafatoons for the long run, especially now that they lost the Magpie Gaming's Nafatoons. But Vet is off to a good start here. He is doing a nice job, and he's managed to break up the Pike's formation, and they will definitely get trashed in a sword duel with other heavier swordsmen. So again, there's definitely a lot of smart moves being made by Vet here, because Vet has taken a build that complements his allies well, and he's made his moves so that he's not going to get flank shotted by their missiles, and these guys are doing a good job of supporting with their missile units for Vet here. So if we look on this end, looks like Vet is breaking through, and pretty even there, 35%, 37%, so it's very, very even at this stage. And I'm not too surprised that the initial part of this battle has gone this well for the attackers, because usually the defenders will always go to the square on a map like this one. I'm expecting them to have an exceedingly hard time getting up into the square though. It is very easy for the defenders to force circumstances into their own hands, because there is only one approach way, which always plays a big factor here. But Vet is managing to mop up most of the outer defensive forces here with missile support from his two Mongol allies. So there's a bit of cavalry here, so he needs to be careful he's not going to get cav charged. They need to watch these the Nafatoons, and look at that. Look, Jamie's got some more Nafatoons. I think he might have taken another unit down. So Jamie is really on ball with this, making sure that those Nafatoons are not around. I mean, that is really smart, because if they take the Nafatoons out of it, this won't be possible. I don't believe it will be possible for them to breach this kind of defensive setup without the Nafatoons. They will have to have them. As good as Vet's infantry are, and as strong as they are every bit is matched up when you come to these Ritterbrüder. The Ritterbrüder are every bit as good, even better than the Danish infantry, and then he's got pikes and Lithuanian units in support. So Vet's men are going to be tired from fighting the initial wave, so if they lose the Nafatoons, I can't see them making a breach. They'd have to get extraordinarily lucky, if you ask me. So it's smart. Good move by Jamie to be getting rid of the Nafatoons, because without the Nafatoons they really are in deep shit, without better choice of a word. So, but anyway, as you can see, Vet continues to push forward here, and he is going to be able to take out most of these units here, and there's good missile support coming through, but they have to be careful. Again, like I said, the missile units probably were their only sort of advantage at the earliest stage of this fight, so they don't want to expend too much ammunition here, because the missiles are going to be useful, especially against the pikes. If they can break up the pikes to a certain extent, that'll be good. But it looks like SpartanQwop's bringing a lot of his Mongol heavy lancers through. I think this might be a little, in my opinion, this is too much lancer units. They're only good for sort of protecting your missile units. And oh, here comes the Mangonel. Let's see if I can catch some of that. Where's the next round? Mangonels are extremely dangerous. This unit can absolutely cause enormous mass routes if the shots do well. They're absolutely withering on your troops' morale, on the units they're firing at, morale. They can do tons of damage, but they can also sometimes hit their own guys, so you do have to be pretty careful with them. But if I had been Sawman, I would have brought another Mangonel. Two Mangonels on a map like this one is extremely hard to stop. But anyway, it looks like these guys are pushing around here, and they're going this way mostly. I don't think they've got any guys going this way. Let's see. No, Madpug Gaming is just bringing some units in from this way. And Vet's still got his infantry units over here, which, as you can see, these feudal knights, some of them are pretty heavily depleted, 17, 19. I'm pretty sure the Huskarls are all down. Some of these chivalric knights are pretty weakened. So, Vet has lost a lot of men gaining this foothold, so I don't know how he's going to go. Well, they look like they've got Jamie's general, that's good, that'll help. That'll help in the long term, but Vet's still got... He's still got his Gotland footmen though, and Gotland footmen are extraordinarily good units too, especially if they get a good charge off there, but I just don't think they're going to have enough infantry for this. But I mean, as I said, I do not know how this battle actually ends. I have only, at this point, I've not seen any of this up to this point, so this is why it'll be interesting for me too, as much as you, because I'm just as much in the dark about the outcome of this particular battle. But definitely looking pretty bleak, I think, for the attackers. They've done well so far, certainly, but I just really don't see them being able to break up through here. But we'll see how they go, I guess. Anyway, I think I'll just go to triple speed again, because, again, these sieges are very long, and I would edit parts of it, but I don't know when to stop and start, because I have not looked at this video before, which makes this, it makes it important that I don't miss bits out for you guys. So let's see. Looks like Vet's approaching down here, but he's pulling back. Just making sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, there goes the mangonel firing, and you know that's going to have a real bad morale effect. So as you can see, I just want to show you here, you can put guys along here, and I don't think they were aware of it at first, but I know they are aware of it now because I've played battles since they've done this one, and we've used that particular vantage point. So it's a great way for the defenders to get a really good sort of positional edge there. It's really good for the missile duel, gives them a lot of advantage. So it looks like Vet's trying to push up here on these Baltic archers, and he's losing with a Chevrolet Knights, so that must be pretty owned. But I'm really looking at this now, and this just doesn't seem like I can't see the attacking team winning this fight, regardless of how well they might play. They've lost way too many Nafatoons. I'm pretty sure they've lost about 5 Nafatoons, and they're not even at the central. They're only just now starting the area for the central push, and they've got, I think, too much infantry with the Mongols, to be honest. I usually only bring like 3-4 infantry units with the Mongols and bring just a crap load of archers, because the archers are every bit as good in melee as the spearmen plus their archers. So to be honest, when you play the Mongols, just bring loads of archers. It's just the best thing to do, because their archers are good and they can double as a sort of a lighter infantry unit with an axe. So supported by Nafatoons, they are quite sufficient. So I really think the only thing you need the spearmen for is to protect from cavalry charges, in which case 3 is pretty much sufficient. Looks like over here Emperor of the Great Unknown might have been trying to get rid of some of these rockets. I think, you know, the defenders have been smart. They've gone for the Nafatoons. They're going for the rockets. They're getting rid of units that can drop and shock their morale, which is pretty much what the attackers are going to need to do in this siege. So I'm really saying the defenders have been smart in this battle. So it'll be interesting to see how things are going. I mean, from the outset, this battle was always in the defenders' favour. They had stronger factions for circumstances like this, and they had a way better defensive position. Anyway, the missile duel continues to go on. As you can see, these units down here by Mad Pug Gaming are getting shot up pretty bad, so he needs to get them into a better position where they're not going to get so badly beaten up by these missile units. These Prussian archers, by the looks of things. Member of the Great Unknown there. But I'm just going to continue to go triple speed for now, because it's just a whole lot of skirmishing. And these guys will do well with this skirmishing. Mongol archers, as I said before, are very, very good. But the problem is they need to be careful they do not get bled dry on missile units here. They run out of ammunition without having any major effect. Looks like the rockets are firing there. Looks like they've got some good hits in too. There we go. Yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier in the fight, using the rockets to hit up along here. If they can try and get enemy units forced into this close quarters area, every hit will be more inclined to do damage, because they'll, like, your chances of each hit hitting a target is higher with rockets, because as we know, the rocket launchers have absolutely shitty accuracy. It's pretty terrible. So if you use them, you know, into these sort of tight packed areas, at least you increase your chances of units actually hitting. Anyway, here they are going again, and even now they are not particularly having a lot of success. Anyway, missile duel continues to go on. And there's not a lot happening at the moment, just more missile dueling. So if you want to skip ahead, guys, feel free to do so, because obviously it can be maybe a little tedious watching. Just, I mean, it's up to you if you enjoy listening to me just talking. Anyway, yeah, so missile duel continues to go on, and I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, you know, that the defenders probably are going to be able to bleed the Mongol archers dry out of ammunition, and when that happens, they're going to have no real advantages over the defending team whatsoever. So I'm definitely saying the defenders. I keep saying it, but I mean, this looks really bleak for the attackers. So I'm really kind of looking forward to seeing what the end result's going to be here. Let's see. I'm going to go to triple speed again, and I'm just waiting for that attack, because again it's just missile dueling, and I mean that looks like they're targeting the pikemen here, which have been forced to lose formation, which is good. I think targeting the pikemen's a sound move, because the pikemen supported by the Ritterbrüder are going to be impossible to breach from the front, I think, and there are the chivalric knights and things, so I think it's smart to get rid of those units, to chip away at their numbers, because it's going to be really, really hard to breach them any other way. As you can see, this is what I was talking about earlier. Again, look, moving this rocket launcher into a position where it can hit the units that are tighter packed, but they need to be careful here that it doesn't get caught in the melee. But it's easy to avoid. You can just tell your men to disengage from the artillery unit and run back, and then the artillery itself can't be destroyed, just the crewmen. And unfortunately, it looks like Magpie Gaming has not been able to do so. They're going to get caught by these Prussian archers, and they'll get destroyed, unfortunately. But what you can do is you can just tell your men to leave the artillery unit, run to a safer position, and you can tell them to go pick it up later on, because the artillery unit itself cannot be destroyed. But as you can see, it looks like this pike unit here, it looks like it's been completely depleted. Some of these ones here, 46, 49. So it's a smart move to go for the pike units, I think. Very sound, because it is the unit supported by the infantry that can make it impossible to push through. The pikes alone are not difficult to defeat, but when they're supported by heavy infantry units, they can just make it impossible to push through. So taking them out is a really good move. Let's see, it looks like these Cav from Magpie Gaming and some of these Mongol infantry, they're probably out of ammo, I'm guessing. We're just going to mop up some of these last few units here. Looking at it here, 50 to 62%, so it's still close really, but I think it's starting to... I mean, they've lost 50%, and 62 of the defenders, so I'm going to say the attackers have done well under the circumstances, but I still think it's going to be difficult for them to get through here. I mean, we've still got a lot of Ritterbrüder that are in really good number here, and we've still got the chivalric knights, and I think there's some guillotines chosen in here as well, so I'm really having a hard time seeing the defenders lose this one, so we'll see, I guess. I mean, I'm really looking forward to seeing what's going to happen here, so this is triple speed. When are these guys going to go in here? See, it looks like the rocket launch is being pushed up here, and it looks like the Mongol heavy archers are preparing to move into position here. So I think what they're going to do is try and open with the Mongol heavy archers, which I'm assuming are all out of ammunition, or the vast majority of them are. And so they're moving in now to get rid of these guys here. And these guys are setting up a defensive position here. Looks like the mangonels are getting into the central regions. The one weakness too, though, with this particular map, if you have enough missiles as the attacker and you still have the ammunition left, it can be difficult for the defenders to avoid taking the damage, because the area is very small and you get packed up tight, and each shot has a high probability of getting a hit. So that's always an advantage for the attackers on this map, and I do think they take that to the advantage. So looks like there's some Nafatoons in here somewhere. I can't see where. Here we go, here they are. They need to be really damn careful with those. They mustn't lose those. That's going to be absolutely crucial. Anyway, Guillotine's Chosen charges through here. That is a brutal unit. It is the only unit that, in my opinion, can compete with the Ritterbrüder. I do consider the Ritterbrüder to be a little bit better, but the Guillotine can defeat it under the right circumstances. An incredibly dangerous unit. Very high morale. Very, very strong. But it looks like it's been surrounded here, so that's a fortunate circumstance there for the attacking team, because taking that unit out of the equation quickly while it's surrounded like that's good, because that's a very good unit, and that's good for them. Looks like, let's have a look at what Vet's got left. He's got his Gotland footmen, which are in good numbers, but I don't think he's got a lot else. He's got some chivalric knights. So yeah, Vet lost quite a few men establishing their foothold at the bottom there. So intriguing to see how he's going to be able to overcome that. But it looks like they've got Guillotines Chosen there, so that was a nice move for the attackers. A bit of a mistake there by Jamie. And look at that, there goes the mangonel firing. Look at this, bang! Look at that, and just look, that's what I'm talking about with the mangonel. You can wipe an entire unit out with a lucky hit. They are so dangerous. And they can do so much damage. So the Nafatoons are going to get rid of this pikeman, which is good, but I just don't think they're going to have enough Nafatoons now. I think if they'd not lost their Nafatoons, like they lost about 5 Nafatoons earlier on the piece, if they managed to look after all of them, they'd be in for a serious chance to win this. But the loss of those Nefatoons is pretty critical, and here I think is another mistake being made here. The Mongols are going up here and doing the attack, but they need these Gotland footmen with them to follow it up, because these guys will not be able to hot take this whole section on their own, not without the Gotland footmen. So I think like Vet should get his Gotland footmen, just have them there ready so that he can immediately support, because these Mongol archers will not get through this. I mean, these pikemen will hold them away back, and there's these heavy infantry can just sit in the back here and make sure the pikemen don't break up, and these guys are not going to push through it. So I think Vet needs to get these guys up here quickly before he gets home. Now look at this, another whack from the Mangonel routes, two of them immediately, but there is Nefatoon fire coming in, and that's their redeeming factor here. They didn't lose all their Nefatoons. I think, let's see, 1, 2, I think I can see 2 Nefatoons, so they have to really make these Nefatoons work for them, because they don't, they have no chance. And anyway, at this point they're starting to route through here. It looks like the Ridder routed them through there, but they're doing alright in the centre, it seems, and I think this is because the Nefatoons are again having a pretty good morale effect, and they're getting some good hits with the Nefatoons here. And again, the Nefatoons are what's going to save them in this particular scrap, because I just can't see them winning their way away. And look, oh, there comes the Mangonel shot. Let's see. I mean, every time I remember doing like a battle on this particular map with the Mangonel there. Every time, look at that, bang! They just scare the crap out of you on the battlefield, because they can just absolutely cause a mass rout so quickly. As you can see, the Mongols are starting to rout here, and this is Vet needs to be getting these Gotland footmen up, because I mean, if he gets them up here and all his allies are destroyed, he won't be able to make good use of them. So he needs to be getting them up here before these Mongols get destroyed. They need to take advantage of any breakthrough. They need to take advantage of the Nefatoons, because if by the time the Gotland footmen get here and the Nefatoons are either out of ammo or their support is gone, it's not going to matter. And bang, straight into the back of their head. But as you can see, they've done alright so far, I think, but I'm really starting to think, it's just not going to happen. I just don't think they're going to breach, because if we look back here, we've got 1, 2, 3, I'm saying about 4 or 5 Ridder in reserve here, and these guys have got the defensive upgrades as well. Well, not all of them, but some of them do. And then of course there's this Mangonel, which is just absolutely wreaking havoc all around the battlefield. And they're pouring on here, and Vet still hasn't got his guys up. I mean, he doesn't need to commit them right away, but he just needs them close enough to be in a position to commit. But I think what he's trying to avoid here is the Mangonel fire, which is sound enough, but he needs to be careful. I think he needs to be closer than this, to be honest, so he can support quick enough, because I think these Mongol guys will rout, and they'll rout en masse sooner or later. It's going to be really hard for them to get a breach through here. And he's putting in his feudal knights here, but I mean the pikes are holding, and there's still infantry in reserve here. If I were these guys, I'd start bringing in some more of these sort of chivalric knights here. Bring them in, support the pikes. Don't let the pikes get taken out. Don't let the pikes fight on their own, is basically what I'm saying, because pikes when they fight on their own won't do very well. But if you have some heavy infantry supporting them, which they do, but I think they could do to have a little bit more, it would hold out better. But as you can see, look, there's a mass rout here with SpartanQwop's men. Again, these spears, there's Mongol infantry actually. But needless to say, the Mongols are not good at this sort of thing. They're not good at trying to fight through infantry stuff. They're only a support faction in that sort of regard. That was the job Vet needs to be doing, and he's done a pretty good job all the way throughout the battle. But these guys, I know he's trying to avoid, and look at that, the Mongol general just got killed by the pikeman there. I guess he just left him standing there and forgot about him. But I think Vet, I know he's trying to protect these guys from the Mangonel, but at the same time it's caused a mass rout because there's not been the support there. Although, having said that, it looks like SpartanQwop's men did regroup, so they're not out of the woods, they're not out of the game yet, and it looks like he's bringing in the remainder of his lances. And I mean, this just depends on how well Vet times the deployment of the Gotland footmen, because these are game changer units. They are very, very powerful off the charge. But it's just a matter of how much will they lose to get it. hard to say. I mean, again, if he loses too much, and there's not enough, if the team loses too much and the Gotlands go on their own, they probably won't do that great, because they'll just be overwhelmed by the defensive position. And two-hander units do take a little bit of work to get through pikemen at first, so you have to be careful of that. So yeah, there's routing units going on here, but they tend to be regrouping, but I can't imagine these units that are routed once en masse will regroup if it happens again, and it probably wouldn't take long for it to happen again. So let's have a look at the statistics here. As you can see, it's the kill count has evened out a lot, which I knew it would in the circumstances. This map, as I said, is extremely defensive orientated, and it can be very difficult to make it work. As the attacker to get the advantage, because you're only going through one point and there's not a lot you can do to stop it. And Vet still has not committed here. And I'll just go to double speed, I think. So it looks like some of these Ritterbruder are being brought in here against these heavy lances. And again, these heavy lances are just not going to be able to hold up for these heavy and light lances won't hold up for too long. And look at that, bang. That mangonel was terrible. It's really difficult. I mean, mangonels for the defenders on this map is just absolutely dangerous. You lose so many men in the process of dealing with them if you're not careful. However, that being said, they can actually hit your own men and do a lot of damage too, so you do be quite careful with mangonels, but they can be real game winners if you don't get rid of them with missile units or take care of them. And I think I'm not hearing a lot of Nafatoon fire, so I'm beginning to wonder, are the Nafatoons out of ammunition? Which is terrible for the attacking team, because I mean there is still a lot of Ritterbruder, and look at this, guillotines chosen on the reserve here. So I'm really looking at this point. Even with the Gotland footmen, I just can't see the attacking team making this work. It's just way too many powerful heavy infantry units still in tactical reserves. The pikes have held well. They've been given good support by the infantry. I just cannot see them getting through that kind of defence. They just don't have enough strong infantry to do it, and that's the thing. And with the loss of those Nafatoons, they just don't have enough morale shock units to get it to happen. I mean, I don't think it's possible from now. I really don't. I mean, they've held out, they've done a good job, but I don't think they're going to work here. And with the Mongols attacking all on their own like this, it doesn't work, because they can't compete with this kind of level of infantry. They really can't. They just cannot compete with the heavy infantry of the Teutonic Order and the other supporting heavy infantry units of Lithuania. So they really can't make that work. Oh, don't tell me it's going to lag. Please stop lagging. Please stop lagging. There we go. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about with sieges. Sometimes that's one of the reasons I don't upload a lot of sieges, because they sometimes have a tendency to lag, which makes the videos kind of crap. In this case, it's been pretty good. There hasn't been any real lag, so it's not been too bad. But it looks like Vet is now moving the Gotland footmen in, or at least he's getting them closer. But they're a great unit, but I just don't think they're going to be able to deal with all this, especially if they get a good wallop by the mangonel, which has probably still got ammunition, I'm guessing. It might not, in which case it's better for the attackers if they don't. And I've got to say, these Mongols have held down surprisingly long, but I mean, I would be highly doubtful they're ever actually getting any real kills. They're probably just holding out, as a tendency of the Mongols to do. So, but they will be getting pretty owned, I should imagine. And let's see, bam, I think the mangonel hit. You need to be careful though. I mean, they might get lucky and hit the Ritterbruder and cause the Ritterbruder to rout or lose a lot of men, in which case it can be, you know, really helpful to them. Because I mean, I did a battle with these guys not too long ago on the same map, and the mangonel hit a lot of its own men. And oh dear, there's one of the Mongol generals going down. So yeah, this is, I think Vet needs to just get these Gotland footmen in here, because his allies are going to be gone. Look at that, there's a mass rout starting to occur again amongst SpartanQwop-men, and they won't recover from it again. Very unlikely that recover from a mass rout a second time. The morale was just way too low to do that. So I just think Vet's been a little too cautious here. I know he's trying to avoid the the mangonel fire, but he wants to try and conserve for the later stages of the fire, but I think he might have over-conserved here, or his allies went too soon. The coordination of the team strike I just don't think was quite as good as it should have been, and they're not going to get through this huge horde of, I mean, there's still Ritterbrüder here, and if we look, there's still probably a good, I think there's 3 Ritterbrüder there and 2 guillotines chosen that are still on tactical reserve, so and there's still these other units that are fighting in the front here, which are still pretty fresh, still strong, still in good numbers. It's just too much for the attackers to take. They'll never get through it. And at this point, yeah, they've done a hell of a good job. You can't deny them there. They've done a really good job, and holy crap, SpartanQwop's men regrouped 3 times. That's very, very unusual. But I doubt they're getting many kills, to be honest. They might be getting a few, but I just don't see that they'll be getting too many. I'm just going to go speed it up now. Battle's almost over. And look, it looks like they're routing again, and the Mongols will just steadily lose all their numbers. Like it's not going to be able to work. They definitely have balls of steel, having taken 2 Mongols on this map. I do think that's extraordinarily brave. I don't think I would do it, unless I was just wanting to sort of mess around. But it's just not going to work, because there's just way too much powerful defensive units here. And it looks like the Gotland footmen are on their way now. Let me just go to triple speed here while they get up here. Let's see. And it looks like this unit charges over this feudal knight, and chivalric knight to this feudal knight. That should destroy them, although the Gotlands might interfere. And I'm thinking these mangonel, the crewmen might be dead actually. No, the crewmen are alright. Have they got any? No, yeah, they do have ammunition apparently. According to this, they are still firing. And that was probably what he was doing, conserving them for the Gotland footmen. And let's see. Come on, I want to see explosions. So yeah, the Ritterbrüders are in the prepared line there, but I mean, they might get beaten there because they're a little bit tired from the battle before. And oh, look at that! Holy crap! I love this shit. That was just epic. But look at that, takes a full Gotland down. Looking at that, it hit the Ritterbrüders just as squarely, and it didn't really do a lot of damage to them. So sometimes I think the defender units, or the same allied units, are a little bit immune to taking a lot of damage from it, which is a little bit stupid and unbalanced, but I'm wondering if that's the case here. But Vet's Gotland footmen are not going to get through this. The Ritterbrüder can hold them, and there are still a shitload of reserves, so a valiant effort by the attackers, absolutely, an extremely valiant effort, but I think the 2 Mongols was just a little bit extreme, to be honest, and the loss of the Nafatoons so early in the picture really just doomed their chances from the start. As good as they've fought, the Teutonic Order is just incredibly strong on the defense, and a map like this is just the defender's paradise. You just cannot get a map. I don't think I can recall a map that's more favourable to the defenders in a siege. I don't, like, unless it's a massive fortress or something, but this one's just so good for the defence, having one angle of attack makes it hard to attack this map. You'll always be in a better position as the defenders, always. And these guys had better defections for it as well, so these Gotland footmen, they will put up a good fight. Gotland footmen are no slouches, they are tough. They're as tough as nails, but then again, Ritterbrüder are every bit as tough, and there are more of them, so Vet's going to hold out well here. We look at the stats here, 90% of the allies killed 85 of the defenders, so it's not like it's been an absolute ass kicking. And given that there was 2 Mongols here, I'm going to have to say the attackers have done a very good job against a much stronger defence. A much stronger defence indeed. And oh look, there's a general, it's Steph. Let's watch him go at it here. Come on, mate. Get in here, get rid of those friggin' Teutonic dogs. No, the Teutonic general's down. Vengeance. So he just gets stabbed there. You can't kill me! I'm invincible! The Black Knight. Except he's the Danish Knight. Look at this, he's just getting stabbed to crap there. Vet's going down style here. Look at this, rally the men, just take if someone stabs him in the ass, but he's like, no, rally the men, I can't be taken out. And it looks like he's outflanked here by guillotines chosen now, so these guys should just commit fully. They might as well. And poor, where is he? I lost track of him. No, I lost track of him. I lost track of the Danish Knight. There he is, there he is. Look at him, he's what a badass. Yeah, Vet going down in true Kiwi fashion. If you don't know what I'm talking about there, Vet's a New Zealander like me, so... Oh, come on, Vet, you're running from the battle, you're cowardice, you're shame, you bring shame to us. Anyway, I gotta say, it was a great battle. Only an average defeat, and I have to say, that's a very good effort by the attacking team under a lot of difficult circumstances there. They were definitely in a much worse position, a much weaker faction. You know, only Denmark really matched up, and with the loss of the Nafatoons so early in the piece, so many of the Nafatoons so early in the piece, they really didn't have a great chance. But I'm going to say I had fun commentating this. And I mean, these guys are all professional Medieval 2 players, so it's good to watch them out there do their work, you know. If we look there, Vet's just got 660 odd kills with 120 captures, and his allies sort of 530 regions, 640 there for, you know, that's pretty good, you know, for the Mongols there to get those kind of kills. I'd assume it was mostly with the missile units, I would say. If we look at these guys here, Emperor the Great Unknown, 785, he had a really good defensive shot up there. He had the Mangonel, got some pretty nice shots with the Mangonel there, and then 640 odd for Jamie. Jamie did some nice moves in this battle, you know, some great opening actions with his cab to get those Nafatoons, and that's critical. I mean, had they had those Nafatoons, they might have been able to take this. It still would have been extraordinarily difficult, I think, but it's not impossible to suggest they could have taken the battle, because they would have had, I think they both had about 4 Nafatoons each or something, and they lost about 5 of them before they even got to the central square. So that is a huge, you know, it's more than half their Nafatoons taken out before the final square. Had they had all 8 or so Nafatoons, we could have been in for some serious mass routing there, so really interesting. And Sawman there's got just shy of 430, so let's have a look at Vet's guys here. The Chivalric Knights, let's see, dismounted Chivalric Knights, they did pretty well, except for the general there, he disgraced himself. The Gotland Footmen, they were only in the fight for a very short time, but as you can see, 40, 40, 42, and that's against Ritterbrüder. They clocked them up. They're a good unit if you get the charge off, but unfortunately, I think Vet left them way too late to engage there. But at the same time, he was trying to avoid bombardment by the Mangonels, and, well, he kind of just had to sort of work with it, I guess. He, you know, all around he's done pretty good with his infantry. His build was good, he supported his allies well, but I just think it was, you know, the defensive position of the defenders was much better, and the factions they had were much better in a siege as well. So I think the attackers have done well here, and to be honest, I thoroughly enjoyed commentating this one. Hope you guys enjoyed as well. Now, I know you guys like me to put up sieges, and I just want to explain quickly as to why I don't put up a lot of sieges. Sieges, as much as I enjoy them, they take a very long time for me to sort of commentate them, to edit them, to render them, to prepare them for upload. You know, I can usually get 2, 3, up to 3 regular commentaries done in the time it takes me to do one siege. So I tend to just do sieges as a sort of every now and again kind of video, you know. The reasons also being is I just prefer field battles, you know. I prefer field battles because I find field battles are more they're more varied. They change more often. The circumstances change. They probably give you more variation in factions. I feel they make you expand your mind more on the battlefield and in terms of thinking about what you're going to do, whereas sieges have a tendency to be kind of repetitive, even though they're always epic, and they're not always repetitive, but there's a similar pattern in every kind of siege, you know. Plus, you also have to take into account, I have a lot of requests for Rome Total War, you know, 31Ks, for Rome 2, for Napoleon, and I have a crap load of replays sitting in my folder, you know, in my folders. I have replays that are going back months, 4 or 5 months. I even have a replay here for Medieval 2 that's over a year old. which I need to upload at some point. So that's why, you know, I have to juggle a lot of requests from people, a lot of different things, and sieges, as much as I like them, they just tend to take a lot of time and effort to put together. But I mean, again, guys, if you guys really, really, really want sieges more than anything else, I will bump them up the list, but it just depends. I keep in mind, I have to look at what everybody wants to, you know, wants me to put up. You know, I don't want to just favour one group, if you know what I mean. So anyway, enough of my crap, talking a lot of crap there. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Tell me what you think. Please leave comments. And big thanks to Vet for sending this in, and great game. Well done to Mad Pug Gaming, SpartanQwop, and congratulations on your win, Jamie, Sawman, and Emperor. I thoroughly enjoyed watching you guys duke it out. And let's leave some comments, guys. Have a bit of a discussion about what went on in this battle. I'd love to see what your thoughts are. So thanks again, and I'll see you soon next time.